I still think we can have an unbelievably good chance against Bayern Munich with whatever side we put out, because I do think the squad's very strong. But I would look to try to rotate. And I don't mean rotate from the start. That doesn't mean that you go and put like your B team out. What I mean by that is take your players off when you need to, so they're fit for the weekend. I'm talking about Declan Rice. I'm talking about Bukayo Saka. I'm talking about William Saliba. The key individuals that you want fit, Jurriën Timber, we've just mentioned. Use your 5 subs wisely and make sure that they're all raring to go on the weekend. Because what I don't want to do, Curtis, is go and put out your best 11, get a couple of knocks, they're knackered, take it to 75 minutes, he's still not made any subs because we're still trying to beat Bayern Munich. And then we got a couple that either get a knocks or injured or aren't ready to beat Chelsea. I don't want to see that. So we had a great opportunity the other day by having a 4-1 victory to take some players off. It's kept them fresh to go for Wednesday, and tomorrow night hopefully we'll do that. And then I think that we'll try and do the same. If he plays the team he played against that played against Brighton in the Carabao Cup, will get hammered. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, you can't rotate that much. That's
can't do that much. That's way too much. So as much as I like some of those players, I wouldn't want to do that complete wholesale. So I think we might need to, look, if he wants to make 1 or 2, bring in Lewis Skelly instead of Calafiori if you want, or play, maybe Ethan Nwaneri instead of Eza if you want. Whatever you want to do, that's fine with a couple. But let's not go mad and start bringing 7-8 players in that are different against Bayern Munich and then wonder why we haven't beaten them. So I think that's what we have to do. The game itself, just very quickly, I do actually think that we can give them a good game, whatever. And I said that earlier. I do stand by that. But actually, at the moment, they're my tip to win the whole thing. I actually think they look so good at the moment, Bayern Munich. Elise is an absolute baller. Harry Kane, enough said. They've still got players with experience and know-how of how to do well in this competition is what I'm getting at. And I do like the way they're performing right now. I think it's going to be a tough game, boys. I really do. I think this one will be tough. But I can't sit there and say that it's not important, because I do want to go strong and beat them, because it's Clash of the Titans at the top. But at the same time, if I had to hold a draw at this level and then say, let's go and, absolutely go ready for Chelsea, I'd take that and rotate so that we're ready for that game. Because beating Chelsea is more important than beating Bayern Munich, boys. It really is.
You know what? I disagree with that a bit, Dan. I think if you look at the games holistically, and I understand what you're saying in the sense that we are obviously we hold a strong position in Europe right now. We're the top, was it top 2 right now? Us and Bayern, right?
Yeah.
Only undefeated teams. I do think these are big games where you need your big players, and I understand the caution of not risking it, because at the end of the day, we are more than look like we're going to qualify. But I think we buy the big players for these big games, and I think we have to actually make a statement in Europe by beating a Bayern Munich, by showing them, do you know what? It's not only just the Premier League, it's also in Europe. Like we mean business. We beat Real Madrid last season. We've arrived, and we want to show them that none of this is fluke. I think you won't get a better chance than doing it against a Bayern Munich that have tortured us nearly every time we've played them. Now, a few seasons ago when we played them and they had no fans, I was at the stadium that day, and you could see the immaturity in our team. You could see how come we've got all the home advantage, they've got no fans, and yet we felt a little bit scared. And I remember we had Kivior playing in that game, and there's a lot of factors to why we didn't really achieve what we wanted to that night. But I think I want to see the best Arsenal team, the best starting 11.
You know what, Victor? Just quickly, because I do agree with you, but I actually do think you're half agreeing with what I've said, because I do think we will start strong, but I think we need to take the 5 key players off at a good time to keep them fresh for the weekend. Now, that doesn't mean you take them off and lose the game, but it means that you protect the players that you want, utilize your squad, make sure that you're rotating correctly. It doesn't mean, play a B team against Bayern and then, it would have been nice to have seen. So I think you will start strong, and I just want them subs to be early enough so they're fresh for the weekend. That's my only point. But
I reckon it's I suppose it's minute by minute again, isn't it? If, for example, if we're like, I say 2-0 up, half time,
then he can do that. Yeah,
you can sort of do that, manage it a bit. But yeah, for me, I'm taking this game as serious as I am with the Chelsea game, because also, like I keep saying, I think winning is a habit you need to maintain. and don't buy any second. Like I was saying to Curtis earlier, I said the Tottenham goal, for instance, like had that game on lock, but because we took our eye off the ball, Tottenham scored, and you could see how much energy that goal gave them. You know, so we have to keep our eye on the ball all the time. And for 1 second, I would hate for us to draw. I want us to win that game because it takes us beautifully into the Chelsea game. Not only that, but it brings a fear factor to Chelsea. If Chelsea lose tonight,
of course,
Chelsea lose tonight, their fans will be on edge. They don't know what Chelsea's going to turn up. But we are more confident going into the game if we beat Bayern and then have to play Chelsea. So I think that's why I sort of disagree. But I do definitely agree with you that he will start strong. And I do agree that he has to make those changes when necessary.
It is about momentum as well, Curtis, because if we were to lose, we might be a bit like
a bit derailed.
We might, be a bit like deflated. But I don't know. What would you do?
I'm with you. Like, you can't rotate heavily because they'll cause us too many problems. But I would bring in like a Lewis Skelly. Calafiori didn't train most of last week, and maybe one other. Maybe I don't think there's a lot of room for rotation, to be honest. I don't think you can bring a Norgard in. Ben White, is he fit enough? I don't know. Nkapia came off with cramps, so that'll be interesting. But I would imagine he will play. I was just looking at Chelsea's lineup for this game. They're playing without a striker. They're playing Pedro Neto up front. They put Pedro on the bench and Delap's on the bench. So I don't know what Fofana's playing at centre back as well. So yeah, like.
Well, Palmer's back as well, apparently training.
Yeah, but he's not on the bench tonight though.
So have Chelsea gone strong?
Well, Chelsea's team, they've got Sanchez in goal, back fours, Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah, Cucurella, Reece James in centre mid with Caicedo. Then they've got Esteval, Garnacho out wide, Enzo's in the 10, and Pedro Neto up front.
Half. Ish.
Like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I would have expected Pedro to play up top or Delap, but I think with us where it's a bit tricky for us, like if you look at last year, we beat PSG in the group stage, and effectively it didn't. I won't say it didn't mean anything, but it was kind of when it mattered, it was like, you know, we couldn't produce that same performance. We beat Real Madrid, so I do want us to win, and winning is a habit, but I just think he's got to manage the game a little bit better. You know, I thought at 4-1, like I was looking for Declan Rice to come off on Sunday. I thought, get him off. Because I don't know about anybody else. He's the player more than anybody that I don't think we can afford to get injured.
Can't replace him, can we?
The replacement is not close to him, is he? Norgard's too far. No. I actually think we need a centre mid in January. I'll be honest. I would go into the market, even if we ain't got no money, get a loan with obligation or option. To be honest, for me tomorrow, I'm quite relaxed. I'm not usually like this. I'm kind of like, I want us to win. I hope we do win. And I think we can beat them, by the way. I don't think Bayern are great in defence. You know what I mean? Upper Meccano, they got a couple young players. Neuer's a late 30s. I think they're beatable. If we can lock down Kane, who always seems to score against us. They got no Musiala, they got no Diaz, they got no Alphonso Davies. You know, they got a few players missing as well. So, yeah, Rice is the one for me that we need to wrap in cotton wool. I see Arteta in the press conference said that Odegaard should be back. Give me a score predictions for tomorrow, man. Are you going to the game? Any of you going?
Nah.
Yeah, I'll be there, man.
Yeah, you didn't watch along.
Streaming it.
Yeah, streaming it. Well, what's your score predictions? What are you saying?
Dan, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I'd love to be massively optimistic for this, but I'm actually going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. But I would actually be okay with that because I think they're a very good side. I think we've got to respect them. But I'll go 1-1.
Yeah, I respect your honesty. Stricter.
3-1 Arsenal.
Wow.
There's a lot of water in this bottle, bro.
Hey, listen, Strict. We had a tough international break, man. You know what I mean? Jamaica had the easiest qualifying ever and fumbled it. And then you got Nigeria. I seen you on the stream with Laurie just trolling you and Ty the whole night. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't surprise me if there's something else in that bottle. You know, it's mad. 3-1. Yeah, I'm going for 2-1. 2-1's kind of that score when you think you might win, but you're not certain. It depends how much he rotates, and I think he went strong for Slavia Prague, so I'd expect him to go strong for Bayern Munich.
I mean,
so, yeah.
I'd love to win 5-1 against them, wouldn't you, one time? I'd love to do what they did to us, man. I'd love to, but I can't see it, man. I think it will be a very tough game tomorrow. Very tough. They're a good side.
Yeah, it's a good challenge, isn't it? It's what we want.
Yeah, it's exactly what these are the flipping games we want. And I think this squad, this team are probably more equipped to actually slap Bayern 5-1, irrespective of who they've got. We've already said how weak their defense are. You know, their defense, they will lose. Well, there was 2-0 down in a game in a week.
There was at the weekend.
I had to claw it back. Their defense don't give me confidence. You know what I mean? We'll just have to wait and see. But for me, I think this is the test that really proves what we're like. Do you know what I mean? I think we've faced test, but a European test like this, of this magnitude, one of the best European teams out there. Yeah, man, I welcome it, man.